let's look at the different ways you can view your paddock's days since grazing. Now, there are a few ways that we're going to discuss. The first is by using a map overlay. The second is using the list. And the third is the reports. So we can draw a feed wedge kind of like day since grazing across the farm. So what we can do, I'll just go to the paddocks page up here, view all. Now this will just give us some more screen estate by removing the dashboard left-hand tab over here. So now we've just got the map, and what we want to do is hit this little drop down, go to overlay, and then show grazed. Now what we can see here is light green are paddocks that have just recently been grazed, and the darker green are paddocks longer since they were last grazed. So we can bring up a list now. Now on this list, we've got some default columns, and to add to these columns, we can come across here to the little drop down next to the list button and select days since grazing. Now we can see days since grazing. Now another way that we can view the paddocks days since grazing is to bring up a report. So where you find the predictive pasture feed wedge over here, what we can do is we can close that and come down here to grazing timeline. Now we're going to have some numbers here that are not right. They're on cropping paddocks. So what we can do is come up to the little filter button up here and select herds and just show the milkers paddocks. So that will filter out, help filter out a lot of the noise in the data. So now we can see that the map has filtered to the milkers herd, and so has the list and this report over here too. So if we sort this list by clicking on this title here, we can sort descending, so descending number of days since grazing. And as we highlight the top of the list, we can see the paddocks that are dark green on the map are longest since they were last grazed, and then down the bottom here are the lighter colors. Now if we come over here onto this report, we can also move our cursor down this report and see that it is sorted in descending order, and it highlights on the list as well as the map. And this is really cool because we can actually come along here and we can use this map or this reporting to be able to select paddocks for things like fertilizer or spraying or planting or all sorts of things. So we hold in shift and we can select those paddocks, and we can see that they are selected now on the list. Just unselect those. Now the way to read this report is that you can see that the colors represent the same colors on the map, and you can see that these little, or the lighter colored little squares below, show days until. So we can actually get an idea that these paddocks are already recorded in the system as paddocks that will be grazed in 3 days' time, and this paddock here in 2 days' time. Now we can see this little black little mark here, and that represents paddocks that are being grazed currently today. So as you can see, it's quite a powerful feature to be able to filter out and sort and report on paddocks days since grazing, so then you can make decisions on your farm, and you can also communicate with employees about which paddocks might be coming up for grazing next, or just checking that you've got a nice feed wedge looking grazing rotation that is ultimately meeting what your leaf stage requirements are at grazing, as well as your biomass and things like that.